All right, time for Neil Spiel. Forget no drama Obama. Right about now, we could use at least a little drama Obama, because remember that ISIS thing? Well, the president says we're overplaying it completely.
My morning tea.
Sometimes overstates the sort of level of alarm people should have about terrorism and this kind of chaos, as opposed to a longer-term problem of climate change and epidemic disease.
Absolutely. And, I don't blame the media for that. What's the famous saying about local newscasts, right? If it bleeds, it leads, right? You show crime stories and you show fires, because that's what folks watch. It's all about ratings.
I knew it was the media's fault all along. That right there is why I think ISIS is going to continue to thrive, my friends, because he has indicated in the strongest way possible that this is all just a media fixation, an exaggeration, that ISIS will continue to taunt because there is no reason really not to. Foreign Affairs Terrorism Subcommittee Chairman Congressman Ted Poe says playing it too safe is ultimately going to lead to a lot more danger. Congressman, great to have you.
Good to see you.
What are you doing in New York today, bud?
I came to see you.
Okay, I'll buy that. All right, so that's good. But this whole idea the president is saying, he'll outline in his 21-point plan about how a president conducts war, et cetera. But he's more or less saying that ISIS isn't a typical war, as it was, opponents were Germany or the Nazis or the Japanese were World War II. What do you say?
He's wrong. He needs to be dealing or living in the world the way it is, not the way he wishes it were. And ISIS is deadly. They advertise their deadliness on social media. They are killing people that disagree with them. Lots of people, Christians, Jews, Muslims, women, children. They are a danger to the world. They're not just a threat to us. They're a threat to everybody. And I don't think that anybody's downplaying the danger except maybe the president.
But do you think he's downplaying it to say, look, they're not a sovereign country. They're not like eventually the Nazis took over Germany and they had that force behind them to take over the world or darn near it. My point with this, and you're a very good student of history, is that ISIS is well on its way to doing that. And for one thing, unlike the early Nazis and all, they're all over the world already. They've gone way beyond Syria.
No question about it. They're trying to have a state, if you will, in Syria and northern Iraq.
And what difference would that make in your eyes?
It would just give them more territory that they could send their mischief all over the world. But they are everywhere. They're not just in that area of the world. They send their terrorists throughout the world. They train them and send them wherever they want to cause harm to people. They are a criminal enterprise, and that's who we are dealing with, an organized, very organized.
But how do you deal with them, right, Chairman? And one of the things I was talking about is there seems to be a division among Republicans. Some, like Lindsey Graham in South Carolina, says give the power to the president for much broader authority to bring in as many as 10,000 troops to take on ISIS. Others, like Ted Cruz, who might be entertaining a run for president himself. No boots on the ground, no American boots on the ground, no need just yet. Where do you stand on this?
Well, let's decide, first of all, if they are at war with the United States and if it's our national security interests.
Well, you already said they are.
Yes,
they are.
They're at war with us. We may not be at war with them, but they're at war with us.
And we have to respond how?
So we should respond, and if we want to eliminate them, then we should go after them and do what is necessary. Let the generals make that decision, but have a plan of action. We are going to eliminate ISIS because they are a threat to our national security.
But then all Republicans, I mean, you've been very clear and consistent on this. I mean, but Republicans are cagey in their responses. And I'm wondering whether the president takes advantage of that and says, well, look, these guys aren't on the same page. But my view is ISIS is a terrorist group, but they're an isolated terrorist group, nothing like what we were dealing with in World War II. Don't mistake them for that. You say what?
Well, they're not like World War II in the sense that there is a landmass that the Nazis tried to control. They're worse.
They could.
Yeah, they could, but they're worse because they tried to go throughout the world setting up little caliphates, if you will, and terrorist groups and cells throughout the world. And that is what makes them more dangerous. They don't operate by any rules of engagement, legal, lawful warfare, if you will. They do whatever they want to.
And now they've confirmed they've killed this girl.
That's right. And they'll do anything they want to. And failure to recognize them for who they are is a mistake. We need to identify the enemy and call them who they are. They are an international terrorist gang.
Well, you know, what I like about you, you're clear. And people agree or disagree, but you're clear. We could use more of that on either side, by the way. Chairman, thank you. And I know you didn't stop just to see me here, but enjoy your visit. In the meantime, big